by the way, it's not about crypto. Remember, this is about centralized finance. DeFi is the point. That's when this thing came apart, and it's really a failure, it appears, of Gary Gensler to actually deal with the bad guys. You got to ask yourself, Charles, where was he on Celsius? Where was he on Voyager? Where was he on Terra Luna? And now, where was Gary Gensler on the FTX?
So over the next 6 months, we're going to have tons and tons of conversation around our ecosystem in the lawmaking and regulation section of the United States. And for viewers outside of the United States, just remember that what happens here affects the entire crypto industry as a whole. And a lot of volume takes place in the United States. A lot of interest, a lot of investors are here as well. So it's going to affect not only price, but exchanges you can access, etc. So I think the conversation around, DeFi and centralized exchanges and the fallout of FTX and everything that's going on in our ecosystem is going to be the limelight of these conversations for a long time. And so politicians that understand our ecosystem and just have a baseline understanding of blockchain technology and the difference between centralized finance and DeFi, decentralized finance, is going to be hugely important. So companies and politicians that are lobbying in our favor are going to be incredibly important. And I really think over the next few months, probably even half a year at max, we're going to have much more clarification as to what and how the United States plans on responding to the fallout of these huge exchanges. Even if they were international exchanges, it's going to be very interesting. It's going to have tons of content. It's going to have tons of education. It's going to have tons of clarity. Hopefully, clarity beneficial to us as the investor over the next 6 or so months. But I think this clip is interesting. I think there's a huge disconnect between people who really understand what the hell took place and people who have no idea what took place and are just trying to push and tax and regulate crypto and NFTs in a way that doesn't make sense for any sort of decentralized system to flourish in the United States. So politicians that really understand the ecosystem and have some sort of baseline knowledge, I think, are going to be massively important. And ideally, people that we help and vote for and represent, because they are going to have a direct impact on our ecosystem in the next year or so. I also think it is an interesting conversation. Like, Gary Gensler and the SEC are the entire reason that this faction of government exists, is to protect investors and to regulate things to protect investors and give safety rails and make sure that things are insured and you can't get scammed and all this stuff. And for the most part, to me, at least in the crypto verse, they have completely failed. Like, the companies that this person on this clip has talked about were not in the SEC's radar, all collapsed, tons of investors got hurt, and it really just feels like they're 10 steps behind, have no idea what the hell they're doing. And it'll be really interesting to see what the SEC does over the next 6 to 12 months. And you also incorporate that with the fact that there's a huge case with XRP, Ripple, and the SEC right now that is potentially going to set precedent for underlying tokens that could essentially be securities. What are they going to do? How are they going to classify them? Commodities, securities. It's going to be incredibly important. I think the Ripple case, the XRP case, along with the SEC, Gary Gensler and his lack of, understanding the ecosystem to the degree that we want him to, is going to be incredibly important. So just make sure that you try to stay at least somewhat up to date with what the United States is doing in terms of regulation. It's going to be incredibly important for the ecosystem as a whole. And if the United States comes out and it's just very vague, shitty regulation that ends up squashing any sort of innovation and ecosystem that we've formed here in the United States, then people are just going to go elsewhere and crypto will move on and live on. But it is going to definitely set back crypto to some degree, especially in the United States, if rules and regulations come about in a negative way. My Discord still has a few spots open, so if you're looking to join a great community of people who invest in stocks and crypto and NFTs and talk all day and chat and game and hang out in voice chat and get all the best whitelists and a bunch of different tools that you get access to, you can check out the link in the description below for my private Discord. All right, guys, so now I want to move on to 3 projects I want to get on your guys' radar. 2 of them have very low supply caps and are really community focused, very much like Alpha Group kind of style with PFPs and networking and different utilities behind them. And one is a fairly new project that doesn't have much information about it, but they are incubated by Seedify, which is a known coin and incubator of IDOs in the space. And so I want to touch on these 3 projects, give you guys a little bit of information about them, and we'll just touch on crypto and my thoughts, and that'll be the video. So the first project today is going to be Kongu. And I like this project because it's a 350 supply, and all of them are going to be one of one. So there won't won't be like different rarities for each person. And what I really like about this project is they're very much community first and we all eat sort of theme and slogan, right? So they really want the entire group to succeed in NFTs in general, right? So, if someone makes money here, they want to figure out a way for the rest of the group to make money in the same vein, using the same patterns, sharing knowledge, networking. It's a lot of like what my Discord group does currently. And I also think there's definitely room for more of these projects, but it really comes down to the founders, the leadership, and the community that they're able to cultivate in their Discord through the marketing phase, through mint, post-mint, etc. So obviously when it comes to dropping an NFT, the post-mint floor price is going to have some sort of effect on perception, the superficial perception of how well a project's doing. But in reality, the founders, the leadership, and the community that they're able to cultivate throughout that process is going to be the biggest thing. So I really like how they're doing this. It's an application-based, interview-based process. And so getting whitelist is not easy. So if you kind of peel back the onion here and you think, okay, 350 supply, great leadership, a hard process to get whitelist, most likely this collection is going to have a decent floor price. I think right off the rip at least. And we'll see how it progresses over the next few months and what they were able to provide. Most likely there'll be whitelist raffles and I'm sure other sets of utility. But what I want to point out is that projects like this could be a home base for new people, right? Or just an NFT investor in general. Like you need a Discord, have friends in and ask questions and get information in and like, oh, this minting, what do you guys think? What's your entry? What's your exit, etc. So this is just another one of those projects that I really think has a shot at building a really tight-knit community that could last throughout the bear, right? 5K PFP collections, 6K, 10K, whatever it is, I really think are going to struggle long-term to have that like tight-knit, close, family-oriented group. And this is definitely one of those projects that I think has a shot at making that a reality. Okay, guys, so the next project is Stay Human Genesis. And so a 333 supply. So once again, it's that same sort of vibe, close-knit, family-oriented, very tight-knit community, kind of alpha group-esque. But the interesting thing about this project is actually going to be a mastermind partner and a launchpad through Project Atama, okay? Project Atama is a 666 collection that came out that did really well. I think it was something around like 1 ETH floor price. I don't really know what it is at the moment, but they are directly involved with this project, potentially advising it, helping the launchpad aspect of that. So launchpads actually have a lot that they can do. They can do art, they can do smart contracts, they can do auditing, they can do a bunch of different things. So to me, that is a bullish sign. I've heard nothing but good things about Project Atama, and so that might very well bleed into Stay Human Genesis if they have an ongoing communication and ongoing relationship. And so once again, guys, a small group, a small Discord. Discords and new collections like this could end up being home bases for people in the NFT ecosystem, in the cryptocurrency ecosystem, where you're looking for a tight-knit, close group, family-oriented group that can really answer your questions. And, you can get in voice chat and talk and game and do whatever, but it's just a place for you to call home. I think projects like Kongu, projects like Stay Human Genesis that have connections to projects that have basically already succeeded in this area. Project Atama, I think, is very focused on like networking, collab managing, and great whitelist raffles, etc. I think projects like this definitely could stand the test of time throughout the bear market because it's not like a 5,000, 6,000 PFP style project. It's very tight knit, like I've been saying. So Stay Human Genesis, Kongu, really like the art on both of these. I don't know if these are all going to be one of ones like Kongu is, but it is animated. It's anime style, which I definitely prefer, and it looks really good in general. So keep your eye on both these projects. I believe they're both doing application style processes, and so the whitelist is not crazy easy to get. But regardless, if you're able to get it, or if you're able to get a good entry on secondary, it could end up being a great place for you to call home. Okay, cool. So the third project on the list today is something very different and not something that is going to be that like very small supply, family oriented alpha group stuff. This is called Realm Hunter and it's incubated by Seedify, which is a large cryptocurrency that is a launch pad for different Web3 gaming and NFTs. Okay, so they do a lot of things. They have some cool stuff out already. I think Seedify is fairly well known in the space, but as we've seen, very well known names can collapse overnight like FTX did. So just keep that in mind when it comes to, working with, when a project's working with Seedify or a different project. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to succeed. I think it just helps you kind of give a little bit more confidence in your investment going forward. So there isn't too much information out about this project right now, but the trailer is incredibly high quality and the animations are great, super colorful. The game looks great. I don't know too much about it. Realm Hunter, along with what I'm seeing here in this trailer, it could be some sort of like maybe Pokemon-esque style game where you're capturing, training, evolving different creatures. Regardless, when it comes to Web3 and gaming and, making a successful game, it takes a lot of money, it takes a lot of time, and it takes luck, it takes great gameplay mechanics, it takes great gameplay loop, so players continuously stay interested. There's a lot at play here. So if you take a look, there's actually a bunch of people that I follow that currently follow this account. They are following one person, which is Seedify, and I have also talked to Seedify and confirmed that this is a legit project being incubated by Seedify, so there's no shenanigans there with them trying to ride the coattails of a name that they're not actually related with. And so there's only 2 posts, right? There's this trailer that looks dope, 31,000 views, and there is some sort of ETA 24 hours here, interact to continue. Okay, so it's a fairly new project, only 10,000 followers, joined in March 22, and so this is definitely going to be one I think we should watch. I don't think there's much information about it at the moment, but as information drips out, I think it'll definitely be something we should keep our eyes on. Okay, so I wanted to briefly touch on cryptocurrency and prices and give my brief opinions on what I'm doing. So the market cap, total market cap is at $860 billion in total. We were at, over $3 trillion at one point during the bull market. A lot of money has left the space. So right now, Bitcoin at 16.4, Ethereum at 1.169, haha. These are the 2 coins that I'm looking at the most, and I'm not doing too much when it comes to crypto investing right now. I'm just dollar cost averaging, like we've talked about on this channel, on a weekly basis. So either on Sunday nights or Monday mornings, I'll put in a small amount of money towards Bitcoin or Ethereum. Right now, I'm focusing on Bitcoin. As the months go on and we start to see a more clear bottom forming or prices continuing to bleed, I will continuously add to my stack and potentially start to put more and more money into it on a weekly basis as prices continue to go down. So right now is not necessarily a bad time to start dollar cost averaging, but I do not think it is the greatest time to just blow your whole load into Bitcoin and Ethereum right now. I think slowly scaling into these assets, growing your bag so you have some exposure at least at these dumpster prices, I think is a decent play. But remember, it comes down to how much money you're making on a bi-weekly basis, what's your monthly income versus your monthly expenses, and you can take a percentage of that and allocate that towards risk assets, okay? So if you're making $5,000 a month and your bills are $2,000 a month, you have $3,000 to potentially invest or save, right? So let's say you want to save 60% of that, and 40% of that you're going to use to dollar cost average into risk assets. That could be stocks, that could be bonds, that could be cryptocurrency, that could be NFTs. My suggestion is, and this is not financial advice, this is just what I'm doing, is I am taking things incredibly slow because I'm not convinced that this is the bottom for crypto yet. Stocks, the NASDAQ, they're not down that much right now. In fact, they're basically, only a little bit down from their all-time highs. And I think we're potentially in a macro recession, a macro bear market. And if stocks and real estate and everything comes crashing down, that's just coming crashing down on top of crypto, right? So we've seen, depending on what you're holding, 70 to 95% drawbacks in crypto. If everything else in the world comes crashing down too, and we get more bad news when it comes to the war or whatever else, we could see crypto bleed even further. And so if you take all of that into account, basically I'm taking it real slow. I have about 80% of my net worth in cash, and I'll be waiting to use that when I feel like the time is right. And I will update you guys in these videos. But for me, right now, the train is Bitcoin and Ethereum. Not much right now, but more in the future. And I'm not touching altcoins. In the future, I definitely will, but right now, I don't think it's the time. I think altcoins could definitely go farther down than they currently are, and I want to be buying these altcoins at like dumpster prices. I want to be buying Cardano like below 10 cents and Polygon like at like 15 cents or like Polkadot at like $1. I want to get in as low as possible, and in order to do that, you need to have capital and liquid on hand to take advantage of those moments in time that don't come often. So don't blow your load all at one time. Wait, be patient, and we'll know. We will know. Everything will be down so much that everybody will say that crypto and NFTs are dead, and that'll be the time to start buying. And we're starting to see that now. You're starting to see the cracks. Influencers are leaving, content creators are creating less, views are down, subscriptions are down, money is down, less engagement on Twitter and YouTube, less new people, less money to go around, etc. We definitely are in a bear market, but we can definitely continue to be in a bear market and go even lower. So patience is the #1 thing right now. If you guys like this content, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on that notification bell. Really does help the channel in general and really helps me grow and continue to bring you guys solid content on a weekly basis. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will be back after Thanksgiving for more weekly quality content. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the very, very next video. Peace.